Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to our McNaid cheese experience. For those who have been with us before, and a very warm welcome to those who, for this is their first subscription box. We've got a really exciting one for you today, which is cheeses from
regions of the UK. Which was my theme for this month.
No, a really good one. I think it's really nice. Thank you, Neil, because we've got a little tour of the UK with some particular regional cheeses and some really interesting sort of similarities and contrasts and so on. So, yes, we'll be talking through each of these, introducing the cheeses, the wines, the crackers, and so on. And yes, afterwards, if you have any questions, please do come back to us, either by email or come in and speak to Neil and the team on the deli. So yeah, it's really good. This is the first time we've done it between two of us. So thank you, Neil, for joining me with all your expertise from the deli counter. So talk very briefly on the two we've started with.
So the two we're going to start with, we've got the Gorwyd Caerphilly, which is a traditional Welsh recipe, although the cheese is now mostly made in Somerset. And we have the Cornish Yarg, which is made to a Caerphilly style recipe, coated in nettle leaves, which is made in Cornwall, hence the name.
Excellent. Yeah. So the Caerphilly is, as you say, it's a Welsh family, the Trethowan family, I think it is, who have actually moved from their entire operation from Caerphilly, or the Teffy Valley, down to Somerset. And so, although it's a Caerphilly style and a Caerphilly recipe, it's now being made in Somerset. And yeah, it's a really traditional Welsh recipe, Welsh style of cheese. It's a lovely, well, we're going to try it, aren't we? But it's a lovely sort of crumbly texture with a real depth of flavour. It's a lovely complexity in there.
It's one of my favourite cheeses to recommend when people ask me for a cheese, because there's two very different textures to it. You've got the lovely crumbly bit in the middle, and then the creamier, softer bit on the outside. It's almost like two cheeses in one for your cheese board. Cheating a little bit.
There's 2 months of aging, so yeah, it has it's sort of developing in flavour. Yeah, really deep, rich flavour there, and yeah, it's a long family recipe going back. I think it was 1952 when they started, and yeah, a tremendous cheese there, the Gorwyd Caerphilly. Complementing that, we then have the Cornish Yarg. Now, Cornish Yarg, as Neil has said, is actually also based on a Caerphilly recipe. It's obviously now made in Cornwall, and it was, first of all, the recipe was discovered by a gentleman called Alan Gray, and he found the recipe in his attic and he started developing it, and so Yarg actually backwards, if you spell Yarg backwards, it spells grey, so hence it's sort of like a link back to his name. But it's a beautiful cheese. It's wrapped in nettle leaves. Now these nettle leaves are picked where the nettles are at their most vigorous, at most vibrant, and they're that really lovely bright green, shooting up, and at their most stingiest. Yeah, there's a brave team who go around picking and storing the nettle leaves. What they then do, they freeze them, so keep them in their perfect condition for them to be used throughout the year as the cheese continues to be made. But as I say, so it's a Caerphilly recipe, or based on a Caerphilly recipe, which has then been adapted and wrapped in nettle leaves. They also do a really lovely garlic Yarg as well. So wrapped, rather than nettle leaves, wrapped in spring garlic leaves. So, not with garlic infused through the cheese. It's just wrapped in the spring garlic leaves, and that naturally.
It's a sweeter kind of taste to the cheese. A little bit more moisture in the garlic compared to the nettle.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's a really good compliment, especially at that time of year. I think it's lovely. So yeah, this is contrastingly in terms of the texture and the taste of this profile to the Caerphilly. Neil?
So this is, I find, a little bit creamier. There's obviously, you can see the two styles are a lot closer in colour than they are in the Caerphilly. So yeah, there's less of a contrast between the two, but still very, very good flavour. You can eat the rind if you want to. I tend not to, but
The people it's that sort of more herbaceous and herbal sort of flavour, hasn't it? And as you say, just slightly sweeter, slightly creamier, as opposed to the Carefully, which is slightly more chalky. This is slightly sort of creamier and slightly more velvety texture. And with these, obviously, we're serving the beetroot crackers from Miller's Harvest, which are a fantastic range of crackers we do from the Fine Cheese Company. They do an enormous range of crackers, and this is beautiful. I go, just that earthy flavour of the beetroot complements the British cheeses really nicely, and it's a good pick there. Whilst we're at it, let's talk about the wine. So this is the Mariposa. We're going beyond British shores here, down to Portugal. So it's the Douro Valley in the north of Portugal, close to the Douro Valley, which is very, very well known for a port. So it's that northern part of Portugal. Gets very, very hot, but equally on steep hillsides. They also benefit from slightly cooler climate on the benefits of the river air coming off the river and up onto the slightly higher elevation of the valley sides, very steep valley sides. So this wine is the Mariposa. It's got 3 grape varieties, 3 traditional Portuguese grape varieties: Touriga Nacional, Tinta Roriz, and the GN. I'm not sure about my pronunciation there, my Portuguese pronunciation, but it's those 3 grapes which are, work in unison as a blend, and it's unoaked, but it's really lovely. You can see the deep colour, and this would really work beautifully with red meats as well as these cheeses. Cracking actually as a Christmas wine as well, and as we turn the season into the sort of chillier months, really lovely wine for a Sunday lunch, followed by a nice cheese board like this. Sorry, excuse me whilst I just get my nose in there. As you can see, the actual label, Mariposa, is it's a beautifully stylish wine, and the actual design on here is a butterfly, and we actually also have the white in the wine shop as well, which is also a different variety of butterfly. But they really stand out, and it's a great wine, really full flavour, and it stands up to all the cheeses and complements them very nicely. Moving on to the next pair of cheeses. So again, we've been through the West Country, haven't we? So Cornwall and Wales, stroke Somerset, where the Carefully is now being made. Through to the...
There's a bit of geographical debate around this one,
There is,
isn't there?
well, the Appleby Cheshire.
The Appleby Cheshire, which is obviously a Cheshire style of cheese. It's actually made somewhere about halfway between Shrewsbury and Crewe.
So yeah, it's on the Cheshire marshes, so it benefits a lot from that sort of saline minerality that sort of marshy area gives to the milk, which obviously straight through the cows and then into the flavour of the milk. It's an absolutely cracking cheese. It's now really interesting. Cheshire as a variety of cheese, or a cheese recipe, is actually the oldest recorded cheese-defined style of cheese in Britain. It goes back to Roman times. It was equally recorded in the Domesday Book, and actually it was as a style of cheese was actually far more widely known and far more widely eaten than cheddar. Cheddar's a relative newcomer compared to the Cheshire, and it was very much the style of cheese which was known for a very long time. It's again a natural rind, but then is wrapped in cloth, and obviously we remove the cloth before it comes to you as a customer. But it's lovely texture there. Again, really sort of crumbly. It's got that sort of tang as well. It's a citrusy tang, doesn't it?
It does. So you've got the very lovely orange, vibrant colour from the annatto berries, which is a natural food colouring used in a lot of cheese production, Red Leicester, Cheshire, Dorset Red, a few others. Yeah, nice and vibrant in the counter. This cheese does come in white as well, but we find that the orange one just looks better in the counter from a visual point of view.
Is the white also made by...
Made by the same people.
Yeah, oh, lovely. There we are. I'm going to try some, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm going to dig in there. Well, excuse me. Yeah, that lovely, yeah, nice tang to that, and that leads really nicely into the Stilton. So again, where obviously this is actually just into Shropshire, and although it's the Appleby Cheshire, it's a Cheshire style of cheese made just across the border into Shropshire, but on the Cheshire marshes. Equally, the Stilton is a bit deceptive in origin as well. As Neil pointed out to me earlier, the village of Stilton
It's in Cambridgeshire, so it's not actually in one of the 3 counties where Stilton can now be made, which are Nottinghamshire, Leicestershire and Derbyshire. It can only be made in those 3 counties. Any other blue cheese cannot be called Stilton.
which is fantastic. And obviously Stilton is one of our most widely known cheeses in the UK. It's certainly one of our, if not the most popular, certainly most popular blue on our counter, and certainly one of our most popular around the whole counter. Christmas, we all go mad for Stilton, understandably so. It's worth going mad for. And Colston Bassett is really widely regarded as the best Stilton. Now, Stilton is a PDO, so it is a, as Neil was saying, it cannot be called Stilton. It can only be made by producers in that that trio of counties, and so not all blue is Stilton. Some people refer to all blues as Stiltons. That's not true. Stilton is a particular area, and I think what stands out for this is that really creamy, rich, that lovely, salty, minerally tang to it. Yes, it's, yeah, very, very pronounced, isn't it? And yeah, one of the most people's favourite cheeses on the counter. What I'd also say with it, again, it's obviously a natural rind, and really interesting with it, obviously, like all other cheeses, it starts off in the same way as these cheeses, as that sort of white, creamy, buttery colour. And then after about 6 weeks, they then prod it with this long fork, if you like, with spikes on it, and they stab it all around the cheese. And they'll go in about this far, and that is introducing these holes to the cheese, and in doing that, then it introduces oxygen right into the centre of the cheese, which then in turn creates these blue veins. And so you can see very much. Sometimes if you hold them, I'll hold it at an angle. You can't see it at this angle, but if you cut a profile of a Stilton, you can see very much these purposefully made angles where the prongs of the forks have been introduced to the cheese, and obviously that what gives it is really beautiful blue colouring and flavour. So again, Colston Bassett, absolutely classic cheese. Now, Neil, again, master of all knowledge. So in 100 years, they've had 4 cheesemakers?
4 head cheesemakers, which is fantastic for family-owned business.
And it's currently Billy Kevin, I think, who's the cheesemaker there now. So obviously, it's got a really rich heritage, very strong, the style of cheesemaking, very strong continuity that goes into making that signature cheese. Yeah, beautifully rich, creamy, and smooth, with that really intense blue character to it. And as I say, I think widely, understandably regarded as the best Stilton available. So it's what we've always served as Colston Bassett. We also do the Cropwell Bishop, which is also very well regarded, and many who are fans of Cropwell Bishop will shout its corner as well, and I agree, it's a fantastic cheese. Personally, I prefer the Colston Bassett, but that's
I think a lot of our customers do too, because we'll go through about 50 of those in the week leading up to Christmas.
they're big cheeses. They're this size. So obviously we all normally see them in wedges, but they are big. What's the
8
weight?
kilos. 8 kilos.
8 kilos for a cheese. So nothing, not small. And actually, finally, so we've spoken about the cracker, we've spoken about the wine, but also the sticky, the red onion marmalade. So this is from Stokes. This obviously is widely available, but we use this in the kitchen, and it's a really good example of a great British recipe, a red onion marmalade. We could have done figs, or we could have done quince, or so on, but we really felt that this red onion marmalade was a really good complement to the cheeses that we've chosen, and we hope you will agree. So I hope that you've enjoyed all those cheeses, as I'm certainly looking forward to digging into these some more for a bit of lunch, and a little dribble of wine as well. And thank you very much for joining us for this. It's a lot of fun to be able to talk about the cheeses and the wines each month, and we hope you enjoy it as well. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give us a shout. But also just wanted to introduce obviously next month we'll be sending out the surprise parcel of cheeses to you for the beginning of next month. But we're also going to be launching our subscription service for wines very soon in the next few weeks. So keep an eye out for that, especially in the lead up to Christmas, where we'll be doing a similar format for the wine subscription. And we'll also be doing sending out information regarding our cheese and wine tasting events going over the next few months as well. It'd be very good to be able to see people's faces in person and welcome you all back to the store for sort of face-to-face tastings and experiences. Looking forward to seeing everybody here. I think, Neil, you were saying about the pre-orders for Christmas as well.
Yes, obviously Christmas is coming. I think it's October. We can start talking about it now. Obviously, the sooner you get your pre-order in to me or the guys at the deli, we can make sure you get your Christmas cheeses. So yeah, come and see us on the deli, fill in an order form, or go on our website. You can order on there as well, macnade.com. Yeah, we look forward to a really fun festive period with everyone. And eating lots of cheese.
Thank you very much, and enjoy your cheese board. Thank you.